with me with this, and you might not either, but I just don't think there's enough there where you can say this is a offense where termination of Urban Meyer at Ohio State is justified.
Well, we'll see how it all plays out. Obviously, just playing the devil's advocate real quick, we do got to get to our NASCAR segment. Standing by in the Balanced Green Room is Steve Wilson, editor-in-chief of Speedway Digest. We're certainly going to be talking about NASCAR up at Michigan and obviously the Xfinity Series out at the Mid-Ohio. But just real quickly, devil's advocate, he's so popular in Ohio. If they do make the decision to fire him, it's going to take a hot second for the Cleveland Browns or the Cincinnati Bengals calling him up and saying, hey, we got a spot for you, and we'll make a spot for you. Real quickly, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that works out on that. But ultimately, right now, I think the situation is, how is this going to affect the program? How is this going to affect, the kids and their focus right now? Unfortunately, this is an issue with so many different parameters to it. I think it's going to be hanging over this team for the rest of the season. And you saw what it did to Penn State for the couple seasons with the Sandusky issue, and unfortunately I think this is going to be the same kind of thing with Ohio State. Now, granted, I think they will recover from it a lot quicker than Penn State did, but ultimately the persons that are going to be the big loser in this are the kids and the team members that are on the staff right now, and not necessarily Urban Meyer and Zach Smith.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to have to leave it there, wrap it up, put a bow on it. Are you going to stick around and talk NASCAR with Steve and I, or you got to go?
Yep, got that in Michigan. And also I think another thing we need to talk about Steve Wilson on is the breaking cover of that new Ford Mustang for 2019 and how competitive that car might be.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be back. Myself, Matthew Embry, and our official NASCAR contributor, Steve Wilson. We'll be right back right here on the Balance Radio Network.
Tonight.
The Air National Guard is a reserve component of the United States Air Force and serves alongside active-duty Air Force members in times of a national crisis. In addition, the Air Guard serves the state and local community in a wide range of capacities. The reason people join the Air Guard is as diverse as our members and includes such reasons as a deep desire to serve their country, money for college, travel, new job skills, and the pride that goes along with belonging to the greatest military organization in the world. I joined because I felt a calling to serve my country, but I didn't want to be far away from my family, so the Indiana Air National Guard was a perfect fit for me. With over 95 different career opportunities to choose from and 100% paid college tuition to any state-funded college, why not give us a call? Call 1-800-841-3103 or visit online at goang.com to find out more. Again, that's 1-800-841-3103. The Air National Guard, guarding America, defending freedom.
It's double trouble, double the fun at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. See the largest antelope on Earth, the giant eland, and the ugliest creature on Earth, the African warthog. There's so much to see and do, including the Midwest's only drive-through safari. Feed the animals, see live educational shows, feel the excitement. Have your picture taken with a python or cockatoo. Feel the adventure. Shop the Symbol Lodge gift shop with items available from around the globe. Visit the snack bar or picnic facilities. Enjoy a pony or camel ride. Or cheer your favorite porker on to victory in the famous Pork Chop Down. Bring your family to see the rare and exotic animals at African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton, Ohio. Just take Route 2 to the Route 53 North exit and follow the sign. Only 17 miles west of Cedar Point via Route 6. Open every day, rain or shine.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your move.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming, and I'm loud. Roar!
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything.
All right, roll along on a Saturday morning. My name is tom-marquis, Presidente. This is The Balance. And 917-889-8516 is our digit. Time to jump into some NASCAR talk. Obviously, Xfinity today out at the Mid-Ohio Sports Club. And then the Monster Energy Series up at Michigan MIS, one of the fastest tracks in NASCAR. And the trucks are also up there as well. Joining us is Steve Wilson, our official NASCAR contributor, and hanging on with us from last hour is our official IndyCar contributor, Matthew Embry, who also likes to talk a little football, college football, Notre Dame with us as well. Steve, how are you doing, sir? Welcome aboard.
I'm doing pretty good today. How's it going for you guys?
Rocking and rolling, man, as they say, snapping necks and cashing checks, right?
That's right.
Hey, you know,
Steve?
Go ahead, Matt.
How about it? Chase Elliott, finally a winner. The question in my mind, though, is did you expect him to take 2 years? And the same thing, did you expect him to repeat what his dad did by winning his first race on a road course just like his dad did at Riverside?
I don't think anybody really expected him to take 2 years. It took 99 races in the Cup Series for him to get his first victory there. I think it is interesting that he did the same thing as what Bill Elliott did if it was at Riverside, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Elliott had been in position several different times at many different events, and just a lot of bad luck that came his way, and parts failures, wrecks, you name it. I think it happened to him en route to this first victory, and I do believe that he honestly had chances at other events. I think that, going and looking back at last year and his first year in the Rookie Series, a lot of people thought that Chase Elliott would get the first victory before Ryan Blaney did, and it was the exact opposite, and it took a whole another year for Elliott to go to victory lane.
Steve, let's talk a little bit about that race. An exciting race it was. I do want to get a recap on it, but I have to admit, and I know I was texting you too during the race, you can't get any better of an end of a race than two races, and Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott going for the win. And just when you think it's going to happen, you're on the edge of your seat. Martin Truex is going to take this over, and Chase is going to lose it. Martin Truex runs out of gas. Boom, he's done. Of course, then Chase Elliott goes on to win, and then he runs out of gas. Jimmy Johnson, teammate, pushes him on up. What a great finish. Come on, as a race fan, you cannot get any better than that.
No, I mean, honestly, you can't. Over the last, 3 to 4, maybe 5 seasons or so, you would have to say that Watkins Glen is probably arguably one of the most exciting races and events that we go to every year. I mean, they've been voted the best track, what is this, like their 10th year or something in a row. And fans in general, they're asking for more road courses. They're asking for more short tracks. And I think that's the changing tide that we've seen over the last couple of years, because honestly, when it comes to a track like Watkins Glen, you go to these mile-and-a-half racetracks and you're so air dependent on somebody else. You're so dependent on being out in clean air, and you really don't have a whole lot of that when you go to a place like Watkins Glen or Martinsville or Bristol. So it produces much. Granted, there was a 7-second difference there at the end, and Martin Truex was closing before he ran out of gas. But the exciting part is that there's racing going on all the way around the racetrack, and just not for the top 2 or top 3 or top 10. So the fans seem to enjoy it. Excuse me. The fans seem to enjoy it. And they're showing it by selling that track out. They're showing it by voting that, that is one of the best tracks. I think Martinsville came in second. So, yeah, as we go forward, this is obviously what the fans are asking for. This is what the fans want, and they're showing it by not only tuning in but selling these tracks out.
Well, absolutely. I totally agree with you, Ann. And I know that Matt brought up a topic right before break. We'll get you right to here in a second. But I did just ask Matt about it in the last segment, so I did want to get your thoughts because it is kind of both sports, if you will. This week we learned that Tony Stewart decides that he's going to run or try to or attempt to, if he can get everything together, run the 2019 Indianapolis 500. He's been there, done that before. Matt says, a lot of pressure from fans to see him do it again. We saw Danica, qualify well. It didn't end well. Danica did what Danica did. Thoughts? What are your thoughts on Tony Stewart saying this week going to run the 2019 Indianapolis 500 again?
Well, his comments were pretty interesting in the fact that he made the comment that he wasn't going to be a sideshow. If he was going to do it, he was going to go all the way. And he wanted to run at least one other event prior to it because he didn't feel like he wanted to be that lame duck that just come out there with star power and a name and hop in a car and ride around. And, I think Tony is a guy that can do it. He's been in that series before. He's done the double. He's been in stock car racing. He's been, all over the world, and now he's running a lot of dirt tracks. So, He arguably he still has the talent to go out there and do it. He has the marketing and brand power to put somebody on the car and get somebody to give him a car and a seat. But yeah, I honestly I just thought the comments that he made on being the sideshow or not being the sideshow, it was kind of interesting being a former owner of the person he was talking about.
Well,
the thing that's interesting on that though, Tom, is that keep in mind, if he's trying to get a race in before Indy, Phoenix is not an option. That's off the schedule because they were not retained for 2019. So would he be willing to run a road race? That's the thing in my mind. If he wants a race before, that may be the only option unless he's going to run St. Louis before the end of this year.
Well, I think that would be a great, honestly, Matt, if he's going to run another race, that's it right there. I mean, St. Louis would love that, and that's a great track. And you talk about a comeback track. We could talk all day long about Matt, Steve was talking about tracks selling out. That Gateway, that St. Louis track is just from night and day. Call it the comeback king, if you will. But Matt, I know you had a topic you wanted to bring up with NASCAR when we went into break, so go right ahead.
Yeah, Steve, you talk about it. We saw the blueprints now. We've seen the unveiling, the Ford Mustang. That's going to be the car choice for Ford in 2019. We've seen cars over the years, brand new cars where there have been some growing pains. Obviously, with the common template, that kind of has been died down. Is this the latest advantage right now to possibly allowing the Ford teams? Because we've seen Roush Fenway struggle. We've seen Penske carry the flag for them. Is this the resurrection of some of these mid-range Ford teams that have been unable to, cut it with, say, Penske and then the power teams from Toyota and the Chevrolet camps?
Roush has had its own growing pains over the last couple of years and a lot of the flux. And I think the flux really started when Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth left the team to go to Joe Gibbs Racing, and they just haven't had the natural talent that some of those guys that had raced for them. And, you look over the years, they've gone from 5 to 4 to 3 to now 2 cars, and that's all they're running. And half the times those cars are not even sponsored. They've got a generic Ford or a Roush, sticker plaster across it. They've taken Trevor Bayne out of the car, and, while he won the Daytona 500 and he's won a couple of races in the Xfinity Series at Iowa and other places, he's not showed the star power and the natural driving talent. Ricky Stenhouse, while winning 2 races last year, this year has been, down on his luck a lot of times. So I think they have to make a wholesale change. The car isn't going to help them if the drivers aren't there at the same time. I think Ricky Stenhouse, he has a lot of natural driving ability. He's won the Xfinity Series championship. However, I think in these cars and this competition level, they're just not working well together. I think that they may have to make a change on that end. As far as Penske is concerned,